Welcome back. Here with us on the newsroom. The Mumbai police has been able to put together some bones that they claim belong to Sheena Bora. Using the skeleton, they hope to be able to reconstruct Sheena's face. This is called digital facial reconstruction. But experts tell us that unless you've been able to put together the whole skull, it's very difficult to be able to put a picture to the bones that you've recovered. Let's first take you through what the Mumbai police hopes to achieve, and then we'll discuss whether or not it's possible in this case.
The biggest clue to piecing together the Sheena Bora murder jigsaw are her skeletal remains. Recovered from Raigarh, it is these remains that hold the key. But they're also the biggest hurdle in the investigation. Apart from DNA tests, the Mumbai police and forensic teams will be looking at reconstructing Sheena's face digitally. This will be done through a technology called digital superimposition photography, a technique where a human face is recreated from skeletal remains.
The Mumbai police say they were lucky they found Sheena's entire skull. So now what is required for the Mumbai police is a forensic anthropologist and an artist. They will sit together and layer by layer they will put Sheena Bora's skin on this skull. They'll be interacting with her mother, with her father, with those close to her. Apart from that, do notice that skull has the teeth intact. Now the Mumbai police will also contact Sheena Bora's dentist, take impressions from the dentist and then work on the reconstruction. So literally Sheena Bora will be reconstructed from her bones from this skull. Now this is a painstaking process. This process requires a photo imposition. Digital photo imposition is what this is called, that photography and facial reconstruction.
Sheena's skull, remains of other bones, tissue and teeth samples have already been handed over to the Mumbai police. Now, a complete forensic facial reconstruction will have to be done using the advanced method of digital superimposition, photography and facial reconstruction. The technology is only available in KEM Hospital in Mumbai and FSL Chandigarh. Since Sheena's body was charred, it will be difficult for forensic experts to establish DNA. And that is why face reconstruction is so crucial. With Tanseem Haider, Bureau Report, India Today.
The Mumbai police is relying heavily on digital forensics and facial reconstruction to be able to see whether or not the skeletons that have been recovered indeed belong to Sheena Bora. Remember, establishing the DNA is critical for the Mumbai police to be able to clinch this case. But at a time when the skeletons are at least 3 years old, badly scattered all over the jungles of Raigarh, will the Mumbai police be able to succeed? Because remember, in the Nithari case, facial reconstruction did not work. Joining me on the newsroom showdown tonight is M.N. Singh, former commissioner of the Mumbai police, very well respected officer. Also with us is S.C. Mittal. He is the former principal scientific officer of the CFSL, the Forensics Laboratory of India. Thank you very much. He's worked very closely with the CBI on several critical cases. I want to go across to Dr. Mittal first. Dr. Mittal, the Mumbai police is relying heavily on digital forensics and trying to patch together the image of Sheena Bora. But the skeletons are scattered. They're at least 3 years old. Do you think that this is very unlikely to work?
Yeah, it is very, very difficult to work on the skeleton because you need skull. And if the skull is broken or burnt in the pieces, then it becomes further difficult to reconstruct it and to match it on digital basis on computer package, because when the whole skull is there, then comparison is made from the landmarks with the photograph of the person. But if the skull is broken, in Naina Sani murder case, when the skull was recovered from the tandoor, body was recovered from the tandoor, the part skull was burnt and it was reconstructed, but the court didn't agree with that evidence, saying that the portion which have been reconstructed, we do not know whether they are the genuine portions or not. So if the portions are burnt also, and the skull is broken into pieces, it becomes very difficult to make a digital comparison. But I do not know how much bones have been recovered.
Okay, you made two very important points, just one by one. Two very important points, Dr. Mittal, and I want to bring in former Commissioner M.N. Singh on this, because there are two important parts. First and foremost, you need a complete skull to be able to do this reconstruction. Now, the Mumbai police, Mr. Singh, doesn't have a complete skull. The skull is broken, fractured, it's all over. They have some parts of the skull. How then is the Mumbai police so confident that through digital forensics they'll be able to put together the skull? They don't have all the parts of the skull.
Well, Rahul, it is not necessary that this skull reconstruction through digital means is a must. It's not necessary. The identity of the skeleton, the person, can be established by many other means, and there will be physical evidence available probably on this scene of crime, and also the DNA test. All that is needed is to establish that the remains found from the scene of crime belong to that person who is supposed to have been killed, that is Sheena.
True. Now you're talking about other means, Mr. Singh.
Then there is no problem.
But the Mumbai police has told our correspondents that their principal, just 1 second, sir, their principal effort is to try and reconstruct her face by putting the skeletons together. Now, on the basis of what a top CFSL expert says, we've understood that unless you have the full skeleton, this is very difficult to do. Here you don't have the full skeleton, you have some parts of what was her head.
I know.
How do they intend to do this? Is it even possible?
I know that it will be useful if that is achieved, but even if that is not achieved, the identity can be established by other means also. All that is needed is to establish the identity of the deceased, and once that is done, I think the corpus delicti will stand proved. You see, in a murder case, it is necessary first to prove that there was a homicide, and for that the dead body is necessary, and dead body is establishing through DNA test and other physical evidence that will be found on the scene of crime, and probably witnesses, that will establish and cleanse the issue.
But Mr. Singh, realistically speaking, given how government hospitals in India are, for the Mumbai police to imagine...
Rahul, give me a minute.
Sir, please, go on.
Rahul, give me a minute.
Go on, sir.
Even if the corpus delicti is not established, even in the absence of dead bodies, there have been convictions in the murder case, and therefore the police will try to collect other evidence to prove that the person in question is killed, and killed by the accused who have been arrested. That is important.
But sir, given the way hospitals in India function, especially government hospitals, how confident are you that the bones that have been found in the Mumbai hospital are actually those of Sheena Bora? Because now there's a sense among some criminal lawyers that the police will try and build the evidence, that because they now have to clinch this case and show, now that they've charged Indrani with murder, they will now try and build the evidence. How confident are you that the bones that were preserved in a government hospital are actually those of Sheena Bora? You know how government hospitals in this country function, sir.
Well, I agree with you that one thing is that it is a 3-year-old case. The second is that the face was disfigured and it was burnt. The body was recovered 1 month after the case was reported, 1 month after the murder, and therefore it has become a very complicated case and a difficult. It's not going to be easy to establish the identity, and what I hear is that probably the Forensic Science Laboratory has said that they have not received the sample and all that kind of a thing. But let us not forget that the case has already been solved. There are 2 accused who have been arrested, and they have already confessed and described the entire conspiracy.
But sir, they have not confessed before a magistrate. Right now they have confessed before the police, and we know how police extracts confessions, and tomorrow when they are in court, they will say, no, this was a forcible extraction, we never confessed, we deny.
Correct, yes, and therefore some supporting evidence will be needed. Let me tell you that the evidence which is going to lend support and credence to the story given by Khanna and the driver is the fact that Rahul came in and he brought that girl Sheena, and he has seen that Khanna and this lady and the driver have taken away this girl in their car. So there is an evidence to that extent. That's a supporting evidence. Also in the hotel Hilltop, where Khanna and that lady Indrani were there, and her son Mikhail was there, he has also said that they had a meeting there, and from there they went together in the car and they tried to spike his drink and things like that. These are small bits of information and evidence which is going to lend a credence to the story given by the driver and Sanjeev Khanna.
Dr.
And
Mittal,
I'm sure there will be other evidence also available in the...
Dr. Mittal, given that the bones are 3 years old, given that so far nobody knew that this was Sheena's body and therefore the bones may or may not be hers, how difficult would it be forensically for the Mumbai police to establish in a clinching fashion that the skeletons that have been recovered are actually Sheena Bora's?
Okay, Rahulji, I will tell you the first instance that from skeleton you cannot establish identity. Identity can be established only from the skull comparison, and in this case it appears that skull is not available, or there is the portion or burnt portions, so it will be very difficult to establish from the skull comparison. So far the bones are concerned, we can get 3 information: approximate age of the person whose bones are there, the sex of the person if the pelvis bone is found, and the DNA test will conclusively prove the paternity portion of the person, the bones. If we can find out from the bones, from the long bones, the bone marrow, or from the teeth remains, if we cut the teeth, if pulp is there, and in the pulp we are able to get some cells, some white cells, then from the examination of DNA from those teeth and as well as from the bones, long bones, marrow, if we can get at least a few cells, we will be able to do DNA. And once the DNA is done, then it will be possible to establish whether she is daughter of the Mukherjee or whether she is daughter of the so-called father, whether the Mikhail is the brother of this girl. All these facts will be conclusively established once we get DNA established from these bones.
Okay, I have one
Unless
final question for Mr. Singh before I wrap this up. Mr. Singh, what do you think of the quality of the investigation so far? Questions are being asked about why Rakesh Maria is spending a disproportionate amount of time for a police commissioner to be hands-on in the Khar police station interrogating the accused himself. Does this reflect headline-grabbing tactics by the Mumbai police commissioner? Do you think this is normal, acceptable behavior? What do you make of the Mumbai police's investigation in this case so far, sir?
Well, no, Rahul, I don't think we should suspect the bona fides of the police commissioner. Yes, I will agree with you that it is rather unusual that the commissioner should be personally interrogating suspects in a case of a murder. A commissioner does not investigate a crime. But Rakesh Maria, knowing him as I do, he has a passion for crime work. He has worked under me and I know he's a crime man. But for the initiative shown by Rakesh Maria and under his leadership, Mumbai police, this case would not have seen the light of the day. I would rather compliment the Mumbai police and the police commissioner Rakesh Maria for having taken so much initiative and taken this case seriously. After all, it's a very sensational crime and big personalities are involved in this, and therefore it was necessary that the commissioner should take personal interest. I think we should not doubt and we should rather give him credit for this and compliment his efforts.
Okay, I'm going to leave it over there. Very interesting insights coming from 2 experts about the quality of the investigation and the challenges before Mumbai police to be able to establish that the skeletons that they have found, that the body parts that they have found are actually those of Sheena Bora, which are very important to be able to clinch the case against Indrani Mukherjee. Mr. M.N. Singh and Dr. S.C. Mittal for joining me on the newsroom tonight. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.